Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine, and this is my commentary on Divorce Court, episode 6. This is Lantry versus Lantry, and I'm dropping videos Monday through Friday every day at 8 a.m. And so hopefully you enjoy my commentary. I sometimes also do commentary on the actual YouTube Divorce Court page itself on YouTube, and I also will have the link to the episode so that you can go on YouTube's Divorce Court's official YouTube page and watch the episode yourself if you haven't. I'm not going to make this a long video. I do have definitely some very strong thoughts on this episode. In a lot of ways, it's sad. I wrote a book called Broken People, not published. I wrote it, and when I was in college, I let my professor read it, and she loved it. And she reminds me of some of my characters in Broken People. They didn't say it on the show. The judge alluded to it, but there's a possibility she could have potentially been sexually abused, and that's why she's acting out in this way. I was molested when I was a kid, and as I got older, I started really looking into molestation, rape, how it affects you, the different things that can happen, and my ex brought it up, was like, you have all of these behaviors. I was reading this article, and it describes you to a T. And it was an article about rape and rape victims. And one of the behavior, and it wasn't my behavior at the time, but I definitely understood it, is a lot of times you see the TV shows or the Lifetime movies, the person gets raped, they're in the shower and they're scrubbing themselves, and it's like, oh, I'm not clean and I don't want anybody to touch me and I don't want to be around anyone. Well, that can happen, but the extreme opposite can happen too. Sometimes you become sexually promiscuous. One of my cousins, she was raped when she was 12, and it led to a lot of promiscuity. And it's not just her. It was a lot of people who behavior was very promiscuous. For me, it was a little bit different. I was the opposite. I was like, I don't want anybody to touch me. I don't want to be around me. Every time I turned around, it wasn't just my cousin who molested me from ages 6 to 9, but I had an uncle and another cousin and different people that were trying to do sexually inappropriate things with me, and even included women, babysitters, everything. And it was very confusing. I definitely didn't understand it. I knew that I was constantly fighting people off, and but I was also very desensitized to sex. So it was like when I was in sexual situations, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. It was very easy for me to do if it's what I wanted to do, because I didn't put a lot of stock into sex. And I do understand how, it can be a coping mechanism. And so I do feel like she's damaged, she's broken, that there's probably some sexual abuse in her history. And I understand her in a lot of different ways. And having had a history of not just sexual abuse, but physical abuse and different things growing up, I've studied people and I've studied these situations, and she seems like a classic case. And unfortunately for him, not only is she, a sex addict, basically, she's bisexual. And there's nothing wrong with being bisexual, but the issue with dating someone who's bisexual is, if you're just dating men or if you're just dating women, then you can kind of monitor the person that you're with because you know what they like. And if they're around another woman or if they're around another man, you can kind of like look at them, see if they're like, checking him or her out. But when a person's bisexual, it's like the whole world is theirs to play with. And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. You never know who they're going to be going off with. And I don't think she's at a place in her life where she needs to be in a relationship. She needs to be in counseling. She needs to be in therapy. She needs to really learn to find herself, just like I had to find myself. I had to figure out who I am. I had to figure out what I wanted sexually, what I liked sexually. Had to find out. I had to literally study sex for years, which is what brought me to actually even becoming such an expert on sex that I actually had a website that taught people how to have sex and how to do lots of different things. And it's a website that people pretty much to this day still ask me 20 years later, hey, do you still have that website? And I'm like, no, that was way back when Yahoo had GeoCities. And I've decided to do a web series that will pretty much take the place of what that website did. It's not pornography. It's really just going to be teaching people about sex. And I'm going to have guests come on. And so I may have like some of my friends are dominatrixes. They can explain what that is and the behavior and what's a submissive and what's a dom and blah, 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 blah. So I think this is an important thing to understand about people. She's got the right husband because he's 100% pussy whipped. He is so when you're at that age, she got him around 2021. You become so laser focused on those first few sexual encounters you have that he is so smitten and drawn into this web that he's in with her that it'll really take him meeting another woman for him to end up cheating or wanting to leave. But right now his sole focus is on her. But now that he's found out that this child isn't his, which means they have no children together, he can roll out as long as they don't get her pregnant. And to make matters worse, he thought that she only cheated with an ex, a friend, a family member, and a woman. That's 4 people. But the DNA test, the person he thought was the baby's father was a family member, and it wasn't a family member. So that means there's somebody else she's screwing. And he's at work all day. She's probably got the kids in a room, and she's up there screwing like my aunt used to do. My aunt used to actually have us kids sort of like watch the door. And there was in a situation where my aunt, had a man in the room. She was having sex with him. And then her other boyfriend showed up, and she was like telling me to help the guy she was having sex with go down out the window down the escalator. I mean, not the escalator, the fire escape. I was helping her out the window to get down the fire escape while she brought the man who was at the door, her other boyfriend, upstairs and started having sex with him. And as kids, it wasn't just me there, but we all witnessed this. And she would joke about she had a man for gas and electric, she had a man for rent, she had a man for just to have money, and then she had the man that was her main guy. Well, not her main guy, but she had the guy who was that broke guy who was a bad boy, ain't have nothing, and all she got from him was dick. And that's the one of course she liked the most. And that's the one that was at the door when one was going out the fire escape. But I'm just saying, I know about scandalous women, and if Shadow that's the name of the wife, if she has no lines, she draws no lines. It's like, okay, you had sex with your ex, you had sex with a woman, you had sex with one of your friends, but to cross the line and have sex with a family member, that's one of the worst lines you could ever cross, because we don't, on these court shows, because they don't want to get sued, if you notice, they never tell you what family member they're referencing unless that family member is going to make an appearance or sent a letter or something like that. They never say who it is. The family member could be his brother. The family member could be his father. You don't know who the family member is. You don't know how close they are. So she has no lines. there's nothing she won't do, but she's got this emptiness inside of her she's trying to fill, and she's trying to fill it with men. She's trying to fill it with sex. She's trying to fill it with things. And her other argument would be, and I've seen women do this all the time, they get a good man, he's working hard, he's bringing in a lot of money, and they don't have anything going on in their life. So they're bored. And when they get bored, they cheat. When they get bored, they want to argue with him all day. But let him lose his job and they start struggling, then she's even in a worse predicament. And now what's she doing? Now she's arguing, she's miserable, she's cheating. I've seen this time and time again. These women, got these good men that aren't cheating, that, have these jobs bringing in so much money, and they enjoy the money, but they don't enjoy the time away from the man. They don't understand that, as the judge was saying, you focus on your kids, or you get a hobby, okay? You play, you do something, you join a bowling league or something. You do something that's fulfilling, that's not cheating on your husband or cheating on your wife, that fills up your time so that when you're not together, you're still productive and doing things that make you happy. And when you come together, you can enjoy it the most. One of the last things I'll talk about is her birthday. My birthday is extremely important to me. Holidays used to be important to me, and holidays aren't really important to me anymore. But my birthday is like one of those last events that if we're dating, you gotta take care of me on my birthday. However, I'm not an ogre. I'm not somebody who's unreasonable or irrational. If you have to work on my birthday, if you, for whatever reason, can't see me on my birthday, or you can't take me out, or we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything on my birthday, then you just have to you just have to tell me. You just have to say, look, I can't do this on your birthday, but, I can do it. I'm off work on this day, so let's plan to do something on that day, and just give me a present, or whatever you're going to do, and then we'll actually do an outing on a different day. I'm fine with that. She's not fine with that because she's so lonely and she's so empty and she's so miserable that she personifies her birthday as the big event of him showing her he loves her, even though he's taking care of her, even though he's been there no matter how many times she's cheated, even though, this kid isn't his, and shows that they're still together. They're just struggling with the information. And I feel like she probably wanted to use this kid to keep him. Like, if he was the father of his child, then she can always throw that in his face. Look, you're the father of the child. Keep this family together. Right now, he can say, I don't have any kids by you. I'm only 23. I'm ready to live my life. Peace, I'm out. And there's nothing she can do about it. She knows it. So she can't say, okay, now you got to pay me child support. No, you got like 4 baby daddies that you can get child support from. Not me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to end that. I think I said a lot. I shared some things about myself that you may or may not have known, because I've shared these things before in my other videos if you follow me. Interesting case. I have some extra insight into it. But if she was not sexually molested or abused or raped or anything like that, and I'm wrong and the judge is wrong, then that just means, she's got some other mental health issue problems that he needs to hightail it and run and get away from, because there's nothing he can do to help her. She needs real therapy. And he's too young. There's nothing he can do for her other than be there and kind of wait it out and see if things get better. But, hell, the fact that this isn't his kid may make her depressed enough to go screw some more people. So, and then obviously she's not using condoms. So, people always talk about what men give to women. But guess what? Men catch things from women all the time. But that's it. That's my commentary. I would love to know what you think about this episode in the comments. And that's it. I will catch you in the next video.